Alright, hello and welcome to episode 3 of my playthrough of Factorio. Today we're going to continue along doing kind of getting ourselves through the early game, right? Last episode we finished up by getting these furnace arrays set up. And they're kind of nice. Now we finally have like the a stable input of plates and stuff like that. So we can actually start getting some automation and stuff out of the way. First of all, I think we're going to start our next research. Just kind of keeping that going in the background while we're not really producing too much. But for sure, one of the things I definitely want to set up is getting this belts set back up, seeing as we don't have them anymore since we got rid of that before. So we'll just quickly set that back up. It's the same thing, so just gears going into some belts, and then I'll just pull that out. Whoop. Into a chest. Beautiful. Since we don't have any more chests, let's craft a few more. And now it's just a matter of getting some power to this, and just connect that up like that. Beautiful. And now we're making belts again. I'm not going to forget to set up a limit on it. 600 is probably going to be overkill, but hey, you never know. You're always going to need some of it. But that's all nice and good. But I think I noticed before, our satisfaction is pretty good for power, but our production is getting kind of dangerously low, and it's going to get even worse once we start using more and more of these plates. So between episodes, I did some handcrafting, so I got a bunch more just like random things. Like I got more assembly machines, I got more electric drills and things like that. But I also made a couple extra boilers and a couple extra steam engines, just so that we can kind of future-proof ourselves here before it makes too much of a big deal for us. So I'm just going to kind of do the same thing here. I'm making sure I'm placing the boilers one away from each other, putting a thingy between them, a pipe, and again I'm just pressing Q here to pick up the previous machine. That power pole's in the way, so we've got to break that, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. I like to place power poles in between them there. There's multiple ways you can hook this up. It doesn't really matter how you do it, but so long as you've got power going to them all, it's all working. Again, I like to just to put burner inserters there. It doesn't really hurt. But now if we look at our power, we're like well in the green again, which is all well and good. I think we're doing pretty well at this point. So I think what I want to do is start getting some automation done. I'm kind of sick of crafting by hand, right? So the things I want to make is going to be assembly machines and electric mining drills, because I really do not like making those by hand. We've already got our belts done. I guess we could theoretically make undergrounds and splitters, but do I want to do them now? We might do them by the end of the episode, but I think on the other way, I think we want to get some other automation done. So if we look at the recipes here for the assembly machines, pretty straightforward, right? Excuse me, it's just iron plates and iron gears, and then the mining drill is actually the same stuff. So if you see there, we need green circuits, and actually we do need a lot of these when you're playing Factorio. So let's set up another belt line full of green circuits, just because they're nice to have and you never have too many of them. And I'll do them the way that I've kind of always done it, which you can figure out ratios and stuff yourself. If you look here, let's say we want to make gears, right? It takes half a second to make it, and we require 1 iron plate and 3 copper cables to make one. And if we look at the copper cable, you see there that it takes half a second and 1 copper plate to make 2 copper cables, right? So each one of these is making 2. So if we have 3 down, that's going to be making 6. And then that means we're making 6 of those every half second. And these use 3 every half second, which means we can run 2 of these. So it's really easy to figure out the ratios for this. It's just 3 to 2. These ones here are going to be making our green circuits. To make crafting these things really easy for you, as well, is you can hit shift and right click on one of these, and that's going to save the recipe. I can left click drag over your other ones, which then will transport the setting without having to go in here, hitting this, and then looking for the recipe that you want to make, which is kind of nice. I built this wrong. Bang, I'm going to place this one 2 tiles away, is actually how I want to place it. Because these things require iron, which we need to provide into here. And then that's going to be our output. Oh, they flipped the wrong way. I need more inserters. That's another thing we should probably automate, which we can do once we have these green circuits, right? Because we're forcing these now. But yeah, so what we can do here, I probably didn't give myself enough space here, but hey, you know what? It's a starter base. Doesn't really matter. We will probably end up outgrowing this very quickly in this area and probably relocating somewhere else. Wow, this pollution is becoming a bit of an issue, isn't it? Once we start dealing with attacks, I think we might have to change our plans a little bit. But either way, we need that. Probably going to need a few undergrounds. Let's just have them ready. Oh, I already got a bunch. Why do I not have them in my hotbar? Let's do that. As well, if you want to get rid of things in your hotbar, just press your middle mouse button. That'll also delete them. And you can kind of rearrange things however you like having them set up. Cool. Alright, so the copper cables only need copper going in, so we can do inserters on that. These bad boys, they're gonna, let's put 2 inserters there, like that, which are gonna pull from a line here, which is gonna be full of iron. And the way that we're gonna get the iron is by, let's break a few of these, is by putting a splitter on our iron line there. Oh, that's probably on the wrong, actually. I probably want to feed it back one more. Yeah, there. Cool. We're going to put a splitter there. That's going to pull our iron down this line, which will work nice and easily, which means our assemblers here have access to iron, which is all they need. The copper, so that's not interrupted, we can just put an underground there. So the copper's still going to work its way through, which is nice and good for us. And now all we need to do is get the copper wire into these bad boys, right? Because they need iron plates and copper wire. We can do that using these long-handed inserters, which we had access to through one of the researches we did before. And what these do is exactly what it sounds like. They have long hands and they insert. So if we place them down here, you can see where they reach. You can also see by when you place them, let's put these in my hotbar, the white bracket outlines. Oh, I need to move that inserter. The white bracket outlines kind of tells you which machines or which things it's going to interact with. So even if I move it further back one, you can see there it's got the white brackets right there on the belt, which means it's going to pull from that. So you can kind of use that to help you line it up, but it's one extra space than normal. I'm going to place these two next to each other. Or powering this might actually be a problem. Let's do that. You're going to have to put some undergrounds, I think, because we don't have access to any better, what's the word? Power poles. So we can power a lot of this from the outside. So that's going to power that. Let's link these up. That's all powered. That's going to power that. That's going to power that. And then these two in the middle here don't have any power. So we can do this kind of easily, actually. If I just go underground. How do I want to do this? Oh, yeah, okay. Let's go underground from here. And it's going to go out there. The insert is still going to be able to pull from the underground belt. And then we can put a power pole in there. Realistically, we can move that even closer. Now, this is all working. We're creating green circuits. I'm going to do something here as well, just because I like symmetry. Is I'm just going to put a splitter on this and then turn this back into itself, just so that we're filling up both sides of a belt with this setup. And now we're creating how many of these a second? Every second we're making one electronic circuit. Roughly. If we got our ratios right, which I think we did. I think everything's working pretty comfortably here. It's just a matter of the speed of the long hand inserters. But hey, we got green circuits done. And we can just match that up. Cool. So, that's our research done actually as well. Let's work on fast inserters. Does that sound like a good idea? Sure, why not? Let's get fast inserters going as well. Alright. So now that we have access to green circuits, we can start making some more complicated things. So, what do we want to make? Assembly machines is probably a good thing to go with, because we use so many of them as well. Like, it's Factorio, right? We're making factories, we want to make things. This little lake here is actually kind of annoying. It doesn't give us a whole lot of space, does it? Just trying to think. No, let's build underneath. That's fine. The other thing we can do, actually, while we're here, because these green circuits will quickly become not enough, is if we look down here, I don't know if you guys will have it on your game, but it's the little shortcuts. You can just go Control-C, and we can do copy and paste. So I can do this, is I can just go copy and paste. Let's go from there. There. I can copy and paste this whole blueprint. I accidentally got the splitter in there, but that's fine. And then I can shift left click to place a ghost of it. Just so that we know if we want to expand and make more of this, we just have to follow this blueprint, which is super nice for us. And then you can do the same thing with belts. If you hold shift, you can actually place ghosts. So if in the future we wanted to add more green circuits to this, we totally could. We've just got to follow that ghost. But I think for the moment, we're probably not going to be using that many, at least not right now. So we're not going to stress about it. I'm going to... Let's automate assembling machines, hey? Do I want to do this the cheaty way, or do I want to do this the proper way? That's always a question now, for me. Because we have access to mods and stuff, we have this Helmod, which helps us kind of figure out ratios and stuff without having to do it in my own head. But I think for this episode and for like demonstration wise, I kind of just want to wing it and see what happens. Oh, that's only half a second. Realistically, it's not that hard, right? Each one of these needs to be provided with iron, gears, and an electronic circuit. So realistically, there's only two things that need to be fed into this, which needs to be, what is it? Well, yeah, iron plates and electronic circuits. We can do that on a half belt of each side. So what I'm going to do is, let's place you. Doesn't matter where I place it, probably not there. We will say we want to make you. Actually, it does matter. Okay, we're going to actually change this one to make gears. And then I'm going to grab that, put a space between them, and then that's going to make assembling machines. This is going to be our feed belt here. On this feed belt, we're going to have it be, or bang, we're going to make a T intersection. So half of it's going to get filled with electronic circuits. Cool. We're going to have an output over here onto a chest, which we're going to limit to 1 stack. You're going to pull from that into there. You're going to pull from that, and then you're going to pull from that. Nice. This might not actually be enough space now that I think of it, because now I've got to get iron down onto this half belt. Oh, I can do this totally cheaty, actually. It's not going to be pretty, by all means. So that's still going to work. There, and then what I can do is with this one, I can go split, T intersection, bang, that's going to go there. I'm going to underground from you to you, and then turn you around. And then that's going to be half full of iron. Beautiful, and that's all we need to get in here. It's really not the prettiest design in the world, but it's gonna be functional, which is what matters to me at the moment. And now the ratios here aren't correct, right? Like I probably need to be providing this with way more gears and stuff. At least gears faster. And what we can do to speed this up, actually, because this is only pulling iron plates in at the moment, is I can just put a second inserter on it. And it will eventually start pulling in green circuits and crafting. But we will be able to fix that extremely quickly once we have this fast inserter research done. We can actually use this same sort of a setup, right? If I go... let's pull that down. I'm just going to hit Control-click on this belt chest, so now we've got all these belts in our inventory. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to grab one for gears, and then another one below it, and then the one below it is going to be making electric miners. I need more inserters. Of course I do, because why wouldn't I? Cool. You need to... I'm going to put 2 there for now. And 1 going into you. 1 outputting to a chest. You're going to be set to gears. And then you're going to go there. And then it's just a matter of powering all this stuff. Bang, and then there. And then this will start making electric miners at the same time. And then we can do the exact same setup again. Going down 1 more. Right? Now these ratios aren't correct, but because we're not making like a whole ton of these things, it doesn't really matter. Like, we could be more diligent with like how like many inserters for, or how many assembly machines for gears and blah 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 that we have. But I'm not going to worry about it, seeing as like these chests, once they're full, like they're not going to make any more. We're going to make inserters. Let's get you to like, like a stack will be fine. Bang, 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 bang. We need a power pole there and a power pole there. And an inserter going into that. Cool. And now we've automated assembling machines, electric miners, and inserters. So now I shouldn't have to craft these by hand ever again, pretty much. Which is nice for us. It saves a bunch of time on our end. Now the other thing we want to do is probably start automating science. We're kind of flying through this. Let's do science as well today. You've still got stuff in you, but you're out of iron. So let's collect some of this junk. Oh, okay, you're not connected to power anymore. So let's run power here up. And these power poles don't actually exist, which is why power is not traveling all the way up. Cool, which means I can get rid of these. Bang, beautiful. Okay, we can get rid of that, that, and that. And now we can automate science. We can do this pretty comfortably. Let's teach you guys how to use Helmod, hey? Since we have it installed, we may as well use it, and I cannot be bothered doing maths in my head, especially on the fly while I'm recording. It's not something I want to do. Am I blind? There we go. Alright, so Helmod's very easy to use. If we want to add a production line, which is this, we can just add it so that we're making, what's the word? Adding a production line is just what we're adding, like we want to make, right? And we can add a recipe here, and that's going to be the product that we want to make. We can change the output to say, let's say we want 1 science pack. I think that's what that means. I don't actually know what that means, what the 1 here means. Outflow was about 60 a minute. Oh, okay, so this is like output per minute, it must be, or per second rather. So if we want to make 1 of these red science per minute, no, rather, 1 red science per second, we're going to need 10 of these assembling machines, right? Which, the maths adds up. Let's do that. Let's work with that with like 60 a minute. Like, that's not a bad amount. So I'm actually probably going to be overkill for what the level of the game that we're at. But regardless. Okay, cool. And that tells us what we need to provide it, right? So the inputs are going to be copper and iron gears. Right, but since we don't have iron gears just kind of like readily sitting on a belt, we have to just add that to production line, which we can do if we hover over it and click add this recipe. And that tells us there. Cool. All we need to do is 1 of these, making 1, what's the word? 1 assembler making iron gears is going to be enough to power all of this stuff, which is pretty cheap if you ask me. And we can do this really kind of easily. If you want to keep this recipe as well, like up on the side, so that you can actually see what you're doing while you're building, you can just leave it there. And like you can click on this pin button and that'll pin it to your thing. The other important thing that we can look at while we're here is if you hover over this thing, it tells you what buildings you need so that you can actually make the production line that you actually want. So If you hover over this, it tells us we need 11 assembling machines, which maths-wise, it's super easy, right? Because we need 1 making gears and 10 making science packs. But we can do that now as well. So we can just go here. We need 11 of them, and we have 6 on us. Oh, we already have a thing on our thing. But this is why we set up auto crafting of them, right? We don't need to worry about it ourselves. All right, cool. So we need 1 of these making gears. Beautiful. You're going to be making gears. Let's say you're going to output onto a belt. And inserters will always put items onto the far side of the belt, which works handily for us because we can use the same trick we did before. If I put a belt going backwards there, we can actually feed off of a splitter. I need to break that one. We can feed off of a splitter from that line going onto half of the near side of the belt. Then we can go there. Actually, no. I lied. We need underground bolts to pass the iron continuing on through. So now the iron gears are always going to be output onto this side of the belt, which is super handy for us. This belt kind of needs to stay here, because otherwise if I get rid of it, it turns it into a snake, which we obviously don't want, because we only want half a belt. And that's facing the wrong way. That's why it keeps doing that. Beautiful. And then now we just need to put out a space for 10 of these assembling machines for science. I'm just going to try to place it in a spot where like the gears are going to be output onto this belt. So then if I have an input here, I'm just going to make sure that this actually grabs it. You're going to be set to that. I'm going to hit Q and go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops. 6, 7, 8. Well, that's annoying. 9, 10. Well, that goes onto our iron patch. That's kind of super annoying, actually. We'll have to fix that at a later date. We can fix that pretty easily. We can just push it forward right into like over here. But since we've already started building it, I can't be bothered. Cool. Now we just need to worry about the outputs. Let's run you this way. Bang. And then all we need to worry about is where they're going to end up, which is just going to be into a lab, which is going to be there. And then we'll probably want to make more labs. So let's handcraft those while we do the rest of this. So again, shift right click, just left click and drag over it. That'll set the recipe into all of them. Cool. We need to extend this belt up so that all of these machines have access to it. What we can do as well is just connect this up to power. This also needs an input. I need more inserters, so I'm going to run down here and grab my 50. Alright, this is slow because we only have access to the slow inserters at the moment, but once we finish this stuff, we should have access to fast inserters pretty comfortably. Cool. I just like to pair up my inserters close to each other, which just makes powering them super easy, because I can just hit left click and drag, and that'll hook them all up to power. And then same on this side, we'll just mirror it. Similar way to like the way that you do the furnaces. Bang, bang. And same thing just on this side. These are all facing the wrong way though. And then with this belt, we can get rid of that because obviously the inserter can't get to it. Alright, cool. Now we're making science packs. Admittedly very slowly to start with. How's that power looking, Alec? Power's looking fine so far. I think our biggest holdback at the moment is this gear assembler, because it's working slowly because it does not getting enough iron plates into it. This isn't going to be working at full efficiency, which we can fix, like I said, super quickly. Alright, cool. And now we're going to look at another little mechanic that you can do with these research labs is they can actually pull from each other. So I can go there. Let's get rid of these for the time being because we've only got one stack here. I'm going to fill that up. And then what you can do, like, so let's say this is going to be our main lab. This is going to be pulling from the, what's the word? From the input, right? From this belt. We can actually then use inserters to yoink from that lab and place it into other labs behind it. Bang, bang. I think that's probably as far as I want to go with this line. And then it's just a matter of powering all this stuff up as well. And now we have, what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 labs. So now we should be researching, what's that? 9 times faster than what we were before, having one lab. You can see there, our progress bar is now flying by. And now, as I said, since we just unlocked those fast inserters, I'm going to yoink that. I'm going to stop crafting that. The other thing we can do is, because I don't like handcrafting all these things, and you do end up doing a ton of handcrafting regardless, so I'm just going to put a chest there with an inserter, limit it to like 2 stacks. Bang, and that's going to pull out green circuits. The other thing you can do is just stand on the belt and hold F. You can run over and pick up stuff from the belt. And now you got these, and so then what you do now, whenever you do crafting that requires that stuff, you can just make the thing straight away. Which is super handy dandy for us. And now you can see this is inserting way faster than what it was before. And now you can see that our output now is going to be too slow, that this is going to start building up over time. So we can do the same thing, we can just replace that one with a fast inserter. Realistically, you probably could go and like replace all of these with fast inserters, but at the moment it doesn't really matter because the crafting times are so long on this that the regular inserters are going to be pulling in enough stuff to like keep it stocked. Our steel processing is done now. Let's get some heavy armor research. And now we're just going to be flying through the research, by the way. Our green circuits, how are we looking? Let's double it while we're here. Right, and the beauty of this having the ghost up, right, is I can literally just go over these, press Q, and it's going to place it. And like you see there, I didn't have to set the recipe. The game just kind of did it itself, which makes my life quite easy. Bang, 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 bang. And now, whoa, it's just missing some power poles. Missing that one, because that was a ghost, and then that one. Oh, and the one in the middle. Bang. Cool, and now we've doubled our green circuits as well. And that's the power of automation, is we can start doing things really quickly and like neatly like this. Yeah, sweet. I think that's most of the bottlenecks we needed to fix. If anything, what I'm going to do is, just because I can, is all these ones that are pulling in gears, like the plates for gears, I'm just going to replace with fast inserters. And then probably the ones going from the gears to the other machines. Nice. Do we do it? How's time looking? Time's looking okay. We can do this a little bit longer. We can do one more add-on here. Do I want to change how I do this then? No, we'll do it like this. Okay. So fast inserters, we just got access to them. They're really handy, and you do end up using a lot of them, so we may as well automate the crafting of these as well. You can see here it's just iron plates, electric circuits, which we have on this line, so we can just add it in. But it also requires regular inserters, if we look at the recipe. So we can just go... Does it need gears? No, it's literally just that. Okay. I'm just going to pull from there, which is going to put an inserter on this bad boy. You're going to be set to fast inserter. I'm going to extend this line down. I'm gonna make one more by hand. That's gonna live on that. Then you're gonna have an inserter pulling out onto another chest. Go power, power. And then we'll limit you to 2. We may as well do the same with this one. And now we've got automated fast inserters being built as well. You could also do the same thing with the longhand inserters, but I would have to pull this out and redo it because I need to pull these inserters, so I'd have it like above it. But I think for this stage in the game, we're probably okay. I think our green circuit production though is kind of lacking for the time being. Hey, everything seems to be keeping up. So now every time I want to add more things, since we have them, between episodes, I think I'm just going to add the rest of these miners onto each patch. And then we can go from there. Sound like a good time? And actually, since we're going to unlock it, we'll probably work on green science next episode as well. Alright, anyways, anyone who's still watching, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.